fight fans, welcome to our first lightweight semifinal match between Chance Rice Wingo and Chad Cannon.
I'm going to treat this as a hard spar, except this time I don't have to hold back. I can actually go 100%.
My strategy for the upcoming fights today, be able to pick my opponent apart, kind of keep them frozen, thinking about what I'm going to do, you know, get them frustrated.
In his first fight, Chad Cannon really styled through Javier Ortega. Now he meets a tougher opponent. Fighting out of the red corner is Chance Rice Wingo, who TKO'd the U.S. Open champ Saeed Hussein in lightning quick speed.
Really pumped for this one.
Chad Cannon, collegiate athlete, the 24 years of karate experience, the Spec Ops trained Chance Rice Wingo. Our semifinals get underway.
Yeah, I think you see Chad had the most variety in his semifinal matchup, or quarterfinal matchup, excuse me, and Rice was the only one to finish his fight. So, man, what a clash of styles here.
Chance Rice Wingo had not fought for 10 years leading into this Kumite tournament. He went 1-1 in MMA before that. Here he is, impressing greatly. Big body kick by the Cannon.
Quick switch kick there. Something you don't see often, right? It wasn't quite a Thai kick. It wasn't quite a martial arts kick. It was like almost like a switch jump kick.
Talk to me about the range management of Chad Cannon. He is really minding his P's and Q's in there, Ross.
You know, I think it's just his athletic background. He was a running back in college. You know, he ran track. He guy does everything, and then the sport karate background of just being so explosive. He's all, you know, fast switch muscle fibers, and you see it right there with that big reverse punch.
Chance Rice Wingo trying to touch the downstairs and get back into this, but Chad Cannon just steadily moving ahead.
And again, you're seeing this open stance, right? And we see Chad doing what he's supposed to do and attack the rear side. Good right hand from Chad.
Chad Cannon mentioned that in his youth he had a lot of energy, constantly was getting into trouble with teachers and other authority figures. He dialed it back when he became a collegiate athlete. Big spinning whiff right there.
And you'd never know it. He's the nicest guy. Such a good, mild-mannered, very well-spoken. You know, Wingo right now needs to close this gap. This is his opportunity here to throw that sweep. There it is.
Beautiful work by Chance Rice Wingo, getting to work with the ground and pound.
Stop.
And I think that's exactly what we need to see from Wingo. He's got to close the gap. He's got to get this to the ground and start making this more of a dirty fight. If you give Chad the space, he's going to do what he does and put some style on.
You can't out-karate Chad Cannon, but you can make it dirty and engage the MMA.
Oh, big axe kick again. Boy, he walks into the takedown.
Stop.
I love how Chance Wingo is capitalizing on these moments here. He is not wasting those mistakes by Chad Cannon. Round one comes to a close. Yeah. Exciting first semifinal round here.
High risk, high reward by Chad. You know, he's starting to throw some of those big kicks, big flashy kicks, but we saw towards the end of that round, Wingo taking those takedowns. Let's look at this highlight right here, that jumping kick there. My goodness, it's just one of those guys, he's so athletic.
I love the constant movement by Chad Cannon. Let's take it to the jury and get their thoughts on the first round between Chance Wingo and Chad Cannon.
Yeah. You know what I like? Whenever Chad moves, he's dangerous.
Yep. Everything he throws. More output he had, more output as well. And strikes, hand strikes.
I also feel that, like, it's not only, he's so creative with his strikes, right? Yep. So he's working the leg, the body, the head.
Because you never know what to expect.
Never know. That axe kick
came from nowhere.
From nowhere.
Yeah.
I love it.
Veteran referee Chris Iñaki gets us set for round number 2.
Does not exist. In this dojo, he's a young Reese.
Interesting note about Chance Rice Wingo. His mom is the best female jockey in the world. His cousin was a state wrestling champion. He comes from an equestrian family, but here he is, lighting it up in the Kumite pit.
Well, let's see. He's going to have to get on his horse here. See what I did there? He's got to get on it. He's got to get in his face and close that gap and take this fight and continue to make it dirty. He was doing it towards the end of that first round, so let's see if he carries on.
Grappling seems to be the path of least resistance for the Spec Ops trained Chance Wingo, but Chad Cannon shows why he's got that power.
Fast twitch, explosive power, and it just comes out of nowhere.
Backhand.
You know, he's doing a good job of, well, one of the things that you see even professionals sometimes have a hard time doing is varying the intensity of their strikes. If you really watch Chad, he's feinting, touch, and then all of a sudden, bang, you see that firework come out.
And again, a state of constant movement, feinting, moving the hands in and out. Wingo Wingo eats a shot there on the entry.
Yeah, Wingo's starting to get it together a little bit. He's looking more comfortable with the different kind of funky style of Chad Cannon. Hand control a little bit here. Again, that's a switch kick and a takedown again.
Chance Wingo brings Cannon to the pit, gets the ground and pound. 3 for 3, I believe, on takedowns.
Yeah, and they all come off of Chad Cannon kicks. So that might be something Chad to think about, you know, and maybe take away those big flashy kicks and just keep it a little bit more basic. Maybe attack the leg, maybe feint the kick to a punch.
Chance Rice Wingo walking through the fire too to secure those takedowns. I mean, Chad Cannon blasting with those right hands, but Wingo undeterred.
Yeah, it's what he needs to do, and I think that's that special ops mentality, right? Just do what you got to do.
Cannon punishing Wingo on the entry. Good kick by Wingo, but Chad Cannon is a tough guy to track down in there.
Oh, good right hand by Chad. Stunned him there, and the fight's on. Can it go? Is it going to last the last 10 seconds here?
Chance Rice Wingo, final moments. Can he explode and make some magic happen?
Stop.
That's the end of round number 2. Ross Levine, Chad Cannon with some big moments.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you saw Wingo start to get things together a little bit, and but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that last big shot from Chad Cannon might have swayed the jury.
Talking about those juries, let's take it over to them and figure out their thoughts on this second round between Chance Rice Wingo and Chad Cannon.
Chance Wingo, Chad Cannons, you left it all out there. Are we going to see another round?
We are not going to the third round.
All right, well, we'd love to hear your feedback for both of these fighters. Samuel, we'll start with you.
Great fight. Red corner, you got some great takedowns, some great ground and pound.
I reacted to him a lot more than he was reacting to me.
Blue corner, amazing work, you know, working the legs, the body, the head, you know, you really mixed it up. And that axe kick that came from nowhere, really impressive.
I caught him with a good axe kick. You know, it was probably a little close because it did wrap around his head.
Yes, that axe kick was very impressive, and whoever wins this will head to the final round to try to get a karate combat contract. President Kovac, give us your thoughts.
Chad, you know, like each round you're getting better and better. You know, I told these guys that whenever you move, you're danger.
You know, one thing that I'm trying to do is just stay neutrally balanced in my mind and not letting my emotions take over what the ultimate goal is.
He definitely had the kicking game on the range, and every time I tried to close the distance, he would whack me with the right cross.
Chance, you did good. I think you found yourself with a dangerous opponent, but it's a good opportunity to go back to the drawing board and figure out, you know, how to do it when the opportunity comes.
The last 2 fights were wars. I mean, I'm pretty beat up, but I'd love to come back to karate combat and try this again.
Same here, Chance. I was waiting for the blitz that you gave in your very first fight. That was a good. You almost didn't punch in this one.
You know, coach said I was going too fast in the first fight, so I tried to slow this fight down, and I slowed down too much.
Chad Cannon, the straight punches, the countering, the kicks was great. It was great from you grabbing the kicks and takedowns, so that's for you for the next round. That should be in your head. I heard Ross already talking about maybe you should switch to leg kicks or high kicks, you know, so they're harder to catch, because eventually, you know, they are going to count. But yeah, you putting the combination together as well, I really enjoyed that performance.
Some of my higher kicks were getting caught, so that's something definitely to think about going into further rounds, knowing that, you know, takedowns are part of the game.
So who is it going to be that will continue on for the karate combat contract?
I took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. I wasn't fighting anybody. I was dealing with family issues, and I wasn't training at all.
Heading to the final, it's definitely one step closer.
We're going to go with Chad.
We will go with Chad. You are the first finalist of the Kumite.
Congratulations, Chad Cannon moving on to the finals.
Chad Cannon had his hands full with a Spec Ops trained Chance Rice Wingo, but makes it to the finals.
I took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. I wasn't fighting anybody. I was dealing with family issues. My baby passed away in the womb, and I wasn't training at all. I was in depression, and the only thing that took me out of it was coach giving me this opportunity. So I'm just glad that I was able to do it. I just wish I would have won it. So it is what it is.
Chad, an impressive performance, but the job isn't done. How are you feeling going into this final round?
Actually, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, after that first round, I think it was I had like a little adrenaline dump. I think it's just because it's the first fight. You know, this fight right here, I'm ready to go right now. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I feel good and confident. It's just staying locked in.
And now that you're one step closer to that karate combat contract, what is going through your mind when it comes to strategy?
You know, kind of like Bass said, you know, my momentum's kind of building right now, so it's not getting too confident. You know, staying neutrally balanced. I kind of have a feel on what techniques are working really well for me right now, and like I said, my endurance is feeling really good. So, 2 10-minute rounds, that's cake.
We definitely love to see you in the flow state, Chad. We cannot wait to see it. The finals coming up next.
Yeah, getting that contract is my dream, but you know, right now I'm living my dream. You know, it's already happening. So that contract's just going to be icing on the cake.
Thanks for watching. I'm Layla, and if you liked what you just saw, make sure you subscribe.